Miller. This is Patricia Miller, and I'm your host for this evening's BYOB Economic Empowerment Call. So let me welcome each and every one of you to this phenomenal call this evening, Be Your Own Bank. BYOB is the largest economic empowerment movement in the history of mankind. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm excited about the conversation we'll be having this evening because the shift is happening. BYOB's vision of financially educating and impacting 2 million families, it is having global impact. And I'm so glad that someone cared enough about you to invite you here this evening, because the information you're about to hear, it is going to be a life-changing one. So now I'm going to kindly ask you to unmute your mic, state your name, where you're calling in from, and who invited you to this call. Don't be shy, unmute your mic, state your name, where you're calling in from, and who invited you to this call this evening.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Name's Nigel, and I'm calling from Canada, and I got invited by Mrs. Evelyn Graham.
Welcome, Nigel. Welcome to this call this evening.
Hi, I'm Tracy Brown, calling from Jamaica. Got invited by Mrs. Evelyn Graham.
Welcome, Tracy. Welcome to this call this evening. We're so happy to have you here this evening. And just to let you know that we'll be getting started in a moment. But like I said, the information you're about to hear, it is going to be a life-changing one. And just not to miss any of this information, kindly have a pen and paper close by so you can make some notes. Again, I see a lot of you on here. Don't be shy. Open your mic, state your name, where you're calling from, and who invited you.
Hello, I'm Tanya, calling from Florida, and I was invited by Evelyn Graham.
Welcome to this call, Tanya. Welcome, welcome.
Thank you.
I want you to understand, ladies and gentlemen, that 2 million families are going to be financially educated and impacted, and that begins with you, and I'm so glad you're on this call this evening. Well, this evening, again, I'm going to introduce you to a phenomenal woman. She's one of our newest BYOB educator and UK brand ambassador. She's also a clinical dietitian with over 20 years experience in her profession. So when she was introduced to the BYOB movement, their vision of empowering 2 million families, it caught her attention. So what she did, she sat down, she mastered that education. And now that she has 100% of the information, she's moving people to action, and she's having global impact. She's also poised and positioned herself to be in that top 1% of money earners. And she's making a lot of money, and she's also having fun doing so. This evening, she'll be sharing with you those financial blinders that have been hidden in plain sight. So I will now turn over this platform to this phenomenal woman, Miss Evelyn Graham. Miss Graham, are you there?
I am. Thank you so much, Miss Patricia Miller, for your lovely and kind words of introduction. Yes, I know that Miss Miller herself, she too has been having tremendous impact. And yes, she also works in the chartered accountant space. She also helps out in the caring profession as well. So she has over 20 years of experience in doing chartered accountancy work. And yes, around 3 years working in the caring profession. So you see Miss Miller herself, she has been busy doing things that's going to also help her to understand what it feels like to help others on this journey that we are going to talk about soon. So yes, I would also like to add that Miss Miller is poised and positioned as well to be in the top 1% of money earners. She too has 100% of the information, and she loves helping people. Yes, she is also living life and enjoying it on her terms. So just let me say a big thank you once again to Miss Miller for that lovely and kind introduction. So I'm going to start sharing my screen with you as we get ready to dive in. So before we get started, let me officially welcome you as well to the Be Your Own Bank movement. This is Be Your Own Bank worldwide. And you know, we all have done what society has taught us to do. As I move along, you will see exactly what I'm talking about. Here I am in another part of the world. I'm actually in the United Kingdom, and I do what people do globally. They, dictates as society dictates. We need an education, and that's important, of course, to get in position. And that's what actually happened to me as well. You see, I too went to college and then on to university in the north of London, and I became a clinical dietitian. Why, you may be thinking? Because I've always had a heartbeat for people. I wanted to become that someone who connected to people who needed and would appreciate my specialist skills. And so, let me just go straight in. There was a time when I wanted to do a lot more. I wanted to be there for people and help them to really understand how to take control of their health and in the long run, their lives. But ultimately, what transpired in my life is my mom becoming terminally unwell. And you know what? It was in that point, in that moment, that I realized that I didn't have total control about anything. I couldn't fully fund for my mom's treatment because financially I couldn't afford it. You see, I did have savings. I had savings. But when my mom became unwell and I had to pay for her treatment, those savings were like going up like flames in front of my eyes. And so we didn't have all the resources to give everything that was required in the care of my mom. And, it got to that point where I lost my mom and I made the decision that I wanted to walk in faith. I wanted to step out. I wanted to position us to make sure nothing like that ever happened again. You might have heard me, when I said us, I actually meant us. I'm talking about my family and myself. I was really on that brink because I wasn't sure what I needed to do. But I knew that I had to do something more in life for me. So what I really knew was that I was ready to walk in my purpose. But listen to me, ladies and gentlemen, it was my time. Yes, I did say life happened to me. My mom became sick and then she passed away, but then it was my time. I connected with a phenomenal woman who is on this platform. You will see her name in a moment, Miss Tasha M. Dyer. You see, she introduced me to the BYOB movement. And not only was I introduced to the movement, I was able to also communicate with the team members. And that got me excited. And I got their support, and it didn't take long for me to figure out that this was my calling in life. Do not get me wrong. I enjoy dietetics. I enjoy being a clinical dietitian because I love to help people. But the one thing I recognized was that I was in a better position to help and to care for others by financially educating and empowering them. So what I could see was that lives were already beginning to change. I could see a shift happening. So I became a changed agent. And I'm actually still seeing people making real changes in their lives and becoming more profitable traders. Because the one thing I want you to remember this evening is the importance of the education that we're going to talk about, which is provided by the BYOB Academy. Ladies and gentlemen, today I stand tall. I am not only an educator on this platform, but I'm also an international brand ambassador. So ultimately, you can hear that, Joy? So ultimately, this is why I'm here. And now we're going to move closer to diving into what we need to talk about this evening. But I just wanted to make sure, hopefully, that we are all plugged in to our Telegram community. I'm talking about the Telegram community, the BYOB Cash Out. We like to know that most people who are on have gone to the Telegram and they're actually plugged in. And yes, that you would have gone to our website, the BYOBmovementllc.com, where you would have typed that into your search engine and you'd be able to have a quick look at our website. Also, we also have a BYOB app, which is making life so much easier. So then you should be able to download the BYOB app. And for those who were able to do that, then that's great news for us because that's really something that you should have done before coming onto this call. And yes, you get to see people who have made the decision to be your own bank. They're actually cashing out, and they too have made that decision. So if you saw those 777s on the BYOB cash out group, that's what it's all about. They're cashing out. Ordinary people like you and I. So we are going to move along. And yes, I can't wait to share with you what it is that I have in store for you. So today you are able to see some faces on here, and these are those individuals that started the movement. We have Mr. Gerald D. Rogers. It shows here, co-founder and CEO. And we also have co-founder, Ms. Tasha M. Dyer, president and co-founder as well. So you can see we have faces to start off today's talk or conversation with you. Our mission statement is there for you in black and white, very, very clear. Our mission is about bridging the economic divide. That's what it's about, by providing a world-class financial education. So you know I talked about education. Well, we are going to talk about how we do our education and tell you about the journey. And as you can see, our vision is to become the world leader in forex and cryptocurrency education. And not just that, we train, and we will have the solution for you to see in the end. You can see it's a worldwide movement. We're seeing how much individuals are already being impacted. So ladies and gentlemen, we're going to move straight along into what we need to talk about. And of course, as you can see, we're on to explaining here and talk about that focus that we all need. And yes, this is what the movement does. It focuses on empowering you while removing those financial blinders. And as we go in some more, you will see a little bit more about empowering people, because empowered people empower other people. So as we get started here is where I want to start the conversation with you. And I normally start off with asking you a few questions, of course, because I want to stimulate your financial thinking and to paint a picture for you. So I want you to really relax, because I want you to absorb this. So my first question to you is, think about it, process it, and mentally give your answer. In the last 5 to 10 years, how much has your bank rewarded you? And I mean in terms of the interest for saving your own money. How much? And to what extent have they actually penalized you? And I'm thinking in terms of the fees for using your own money. That's why I'm on the call today, to introduce you to a skill set. I mean, one that's simple, easy to learn. And yes, it's going to empower and enable you to do exactly what the banks are doing with your money. And that's making money with your money. Hear me out. I want you to recognize that this movement, the BYOB movement, is here to break down the steps of our educational journey, talking about yours and mine, that can put you and your family on the path to financial freedom. So I'm sure it's fair to say you've heard the old saying before. You give a man a fish and it will last for just a day. You teach a man to fish, however, and he'll be able to fish for the rest of his life. I'm sure most of you would have heard that saying before. Now, the Be Your Own Bank movement follows the teach a man to fish model. Yes, rightly so, since we are an economic empowerment movement who seeks to empower through education. We talked about empowerment just now, and we do that through education. Now, I want you to listen to this. The focus we're going to have is on financial freedom this afternoon, wherever you are, and evening for where I am. Because when life happens to you as it happened to me, and I'm talking during the time of my mom's illness, it requires money. Now, regrettably, our parents or guardians often emphasized the importance of having a sound educational foundation, and we agree with that. because they all sent us to school as dictated by society, and they told us to get a job so we could get a good salary, so we could earn money and we could do a lot of things with that money that we earned. But ladies and gentlemen, the one thing that they never told us was how to use that hard-earned income to generate wealth. I hope you're with me. In order to achieve financial freedom. That's what they never told us. We were never taught that at all. So yes, today you're in the right place at the right time, because that's what we're going to talk about in a bit more detail. So I want you to move your eyes to the cash flow quadrant, because this is our reality. Most people do not give thought to the fact that 60% of us work for someone else. 35% work for ourselves. We have 4% are business owners, and that 1% have an investor's mindset. Now look further down to the left and to the right. What are you seeing? That translates to 95% of the people are actually fighting for 5% of the wealth, while 5% of the people control 95% of the wealth. Please absorb, please let that resonate with you, because the one thing I want you to know today is I want you to know that you do not need to be where you are. Really, where do you want to make that shift to? So that's what this evening's call is going to be about, or this afternoon, wherever you are, because we are going to show you how to make that shift. Well, I can tell you, because I worked for many years, and I can tell you that wages alone will never ever generate wealth. Hopefully someone is with me to say amen on that. Wages alone will never ever generate wealth. And so you may be asking, is there another way? Well, I put it to you that there is another way. There is certainly another way. Another way that's pandemic proof, recession proof. Whether if it's really bad, it's proof from that. If you have bad credit ratings, that's proof of that as well. Yes, there is another way. So I want you to start talking to yourself. What am I saying? I'm saying that your success and what you're going to achieve out of life, it begins with you. Not just with you, but it begins with you today. So no one else can help you. You have to make sure you help yourself. So yes, it begins with you. 99% of your success is already inside of you. Yes, the execution, however, is that other 1%. And that's where the Be Your Own Bank movement comes in. For not only are we prepared to show you how to execute, but we are also able to ensure that you are empowered. Now, I'm also part of the BYOB movement, and I often say I am the movement, because the movement stands for so many things that we need to know about today. Well, let's get real about this. You see, we empower people because we believe that empowered people empower people. Yes, it's that ripple effect which can lead to the economic empowerment and financial freedom for people of every color, every country, and every culture. Doesn't that speak volume to you? Yes, we actually build better lives, and we are going to build your life into a better life. You see, our story is simple. And understand, this is why we're actually having worldwide impact. This is why so many individuals are having the success that they desire. And that's why I am having the success that I desire. So ladies and gentlemen, that's it. That's our story. Be your own bank. Because one thing I know I can say is that your success begins with you. That positive self-talking thinking is absolutely where it begins. So we're going to look at the unpredictable world that we live in. So think back in 2020, where COVID-19 came along, and it didn't come by itself, it came with its variants. And you saw the way in which it impacted our lives. So we experienced things like shutdowns, lockdowns, and scale downs. It all happened, resulting in all sorts of laying off, job losses, and of course, for me, the most daunting was mounting anxiety. Yes, that mounting anxiety, because bills could not be paid and there was so much uncertainty. So, ladies and gentlemen, wouldn't you want to be in a position where you could feel unbothered economically and be sustained financially? I hope you can see the picture that I'm painting for you. Because when you think about it, how many of us have control to what happens to the funds that's in our accounts? How many have control over that? Well, I can answer that question. None of us. Because at the end of the day, we know that once we put that money in that account, we only see it if we decide to go back to the bank and retrieve some of that money. But we do not have control what happens to that money when it's in the bank. So let's make sure we allow that to be absorbed in our minds right now. And so once again, I want you to see the picture that I will continue to paint for you. So what we're seeing here is that there is an evolution of currency. That is what we're seeing. I hope you're seeing what I'm seeing, the evolution of money. And you are able to see that with advanced technology comes what? We're seeing all changes, and I'm sure you can say there is a fair chance that you've heard this saying as well before. A change is never readily well received. And so you can see why this is something we have been dealing with from centuries ago until now, because not everybody can visualize or have a vision. And so when someone comes up with a vision, it can be quite difficult or daunting for them. So you can see the examples here. Yes, we're talking about technology as it increased, as it continued. Many of us couldn't put our heads around it. So this is where we're at. Yes, technology, new technology, has always been a disruptor of industries. So ladies and gentlemen, there's no surprise there at all. And so when we look back and think about it, money is not always fiat currency, is it? It was once bartering trading, where goods were exchanged for other goods or services. I know someone is with me on that. It didn't always start with the fiat currency. So it started with bartering. So you can see that wealth was never ever to do with just a dollar or a currency. Wealth is and has always been in trading, and it still is. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, we need to know and understand about the foreign exchange market. Yes, we're talking about a market. Can you see how many zeros are behind there? We're looking at 12 zeros. So it's moving. It's moving. And I'm talking about $6.6 trillion a day. That's what we're seeing here. And I'm talking about a market that is still growing. So you can see how there was a 5.3. It's now crossed out and you see 6.6. That speaks to the fact that this movement is growing all the time. And this market opens 24 hours a day, 5 days a week. Can you see? And money is moving $6.6 trillion a day. So you might be thinking, how can I get my hands on some of this legitimately? Well, that's where the education comes in. You know, when we started talking, having this conversation, I talked about the education. Well, this is where the education comes into it. The Be Your Own Bank Economic Empowerment Movement can unveil to you information that has been hidden in plain sight. So you're able to see you do not need to own physical money. You can participate in a market like this without owning any physical money. And guess what? This is not like the markets you probably know about, where when you buy or you invest in some stocks or anything that you invest in and you expect to buy and for the currency value to rise, and that's how you make your money. In this foreign exchange market, we don't need to do that. So yes, you don't need to buy, hold, and pray that the currency value rises. Rather, this market allows you to profit whether or not the currency rises. It could fall and you can still benefit. So ladies and gentlemen, that is the beauty of the foreign exchange market. So I'm going to welcome you. I'm going to welcome you to the foreign exchange market and, of course, the Be Your Own Bank movement. A market where you no longer need to spectate, but you're rather able to participate in it. So as we move along, we're also going to notice that there is another market, and I'm talking about the growth of cryptocurrency. It's a digital currency. So most people would know by now that we are now in that age, in that era where we're looking at digital currency. It's evolving more and more by the day. So we are expecting to see an anticipated use of cryptocurrency in the foreseeable future. I want to recommend that you embrace cryptocurrencies and I'm talking about a long-term investment, because it is a long-term investment option, and of course, as part of your retirement planning strategy. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the world that you live in. It is happening and it's not going away. If you want to look at a household name that most of us recognize, I'm talking about Oprah Winfrey. She's actually invested $1,000 million into a Bitcoin platform. Yes. So the one thing I want you to understand is that success leaves clues. Successful people understand success. And I mentioned retirement planning strategy. Now there is another person that some of us may know. I'm talking about the Miami mayor. What you can see here is that he gets a portion of his salary, yes, in Bitcoin, and recently announced his plans to take a fraction of his 401k retirement plan and convert it into Bitcoin. Now, are you able to see what I'm talking about? So we therefore need to take advantage of this. We all need to embrace it because this is our reality. This is the reality. We're talking about evolution of money. So you're able to see as well that we're in the real world here. Yes, we are not hibernating anywhere. So you're able to see that we are no longer needing physical money to do our everyday purchases. That's a fact. Yes, we're talking about a global form of payment, and you can open up a cash app. You can open up a payment exchange app, and inside of that is cryptocurrency. Yes, you can even go into some convenience stores or local stores, and you see ATMs that allow for cryptocurrency. Yes, that's the age we are now living in. Even Visa and Mastercards are adjusting their platforms. So you no longer need to think that this is in the far future. It's happening now because they too can accept cryptocurrency. So they're adjusting their platforms to accept cryptocurrency. So this is the reality. This is how life is going to be as of now. So one thing I want you to know is that the BYOB movement, Be Your Own Bank movement, has come up with something that I call a wow moment. This is a wow moment for us. Because the one thing that you can see here is that the Be Your Own Bank movement, we had a vision, actually we have a vision to financially educate and impact millions of families' lives, over the next coming years. And guess what? Through the efforts of the Be Your Own Bank movement, we have now come up with our own digital currency. I'm talking about cryptocurrency. So yes, the birth of Kingdom currency is here. And you can see on the screen You can see it's the globe's first socially conscious token. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our very own digital currency. Welcome to Kingdom Currency. As you can see here, it is rooted in the civil rights movement. It is rooted in the civil rights movement. And of course, the civil rights movement gave birth to the economic equity revolution. So I want you to see something here, and that is Kingdom Currency is a token with a purpose. We will see that a little bit further on and elaborate. So once again, we're now going to look at welcoming you to digital currencies. Welcome to digital currency. And I want you to all see that we have an opportunity to learn and earn on the go. Yes, technology has made this world a better place. And of course, you can see that this evening or this afternoon because we are connected around the world. So yes, you're able to see more and more people do school online to access their education. And this, once again, is a similar thing because we're going to have access to these tools online. So you are able to do pretty much what most schools, colleges, and universities are doing. And I want this information to resonate with you as I continue to paint the picture for you. So this is a big part of why we're having the conversation today. It's about giving you the power to choose your weapon. So each one of these boxes, of course, I don't expect you to understand what it is, but it represents a powerful tool. And yes, we are going to assist you. We're going to enroll you in the BYOB Academy, and you're going to learn how to utilize the tools. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is what's going to put you and your family in a position to be in profit. Now, before I move along, I just need to highlight one of the tools that we use a lot. Actually, it's our premier tool in the BYOB Academy, and that is our vibrator. Now, we rely on this tool. It is a tool that our visionary, you would have seen his face earlier. Yes, I need to highlight him as well. His background is in investment banking for around or over 25 years. And this tool was actually vetted by him. This tool is also comparable to what the big banks of the world utilize. So what I can tell you right now is that he is the spokesperson heard in over 120 countries around the world. Doesn't this help you to see the impact, worldwide impact that we're having? And as we move along, we're going to look at the BYOB cash out strategy that, once again, your eyes need to be opened to, because this is very valuable to us in the BYOB Academy, because this is, once again, the BYOB cash out strategy created by Miss Tasha M. Dyer, the trade whisperer. So if you remember when we started, I said she's actually on the platform. So yes, she is the one that's behind she's the creator of the BYOB cash out strategy, and it's housed inside the vibrator. So you can see, as it says here, an educated trader is a profitable trader. So you can see that we do not do anything by chance or by guesswork, because education is priority for us. And now we are going to have a look at the importance of understanding one thing, is that the BYOB cash out strategy is a strategy that helps you to trade in the foreign exchange market, high frequency, as well as digital currency. So all of these, you're able to trade and use the BYOB cash out strategy. So then, ladies and gentlemen, I did say Miss Tasha M. Dyer, and I mentioned Mr. Gerald D. Rogers earlier, but not by name. Now you can see their names, put their faces to a name. So I'm proud to let you know that this is our mastermind team that I have access to. Yes, they are the ones behind why we have this platform. They started it. And now let me just emphasize that I'm not here to show off their credentials or impress you. I'm just here to impress upon you. So you can see Mr. Gerald D. Rogers. He's a business success coach and mentor. His background is in mortgage lending, residential and commercial real estate, and investment banking. And next to Mr. Rogers, we have our phenomenal woman. I'm talking about Miss Tasha M. Dyer. She is our trade whisperer. She is the creator of the BYOB cash out strategy. But as you can see, she's also a retired major from the US Army. Yes, MBA recipient twice, licensed financial advisor, to name a few. So once again, they didn't have to be here, but they chose to because they wanted to pay it forward. They wanted to extend their hands of kindness to us. And yes, we do have full-time educators that are committed and dedicated. So their lives are there to ensure that they change other people's life, like yours and mine. So once again, they have gotten all of us on board to help us understand that we all can go free. So as you're able to see here, we have some accomplishments. Once again, this is a big wow moment for us. BYOB Phase 1 accomplishments. You can see on here, what are you seeing? We actually do 40 Zoom calls per month. That's what you're seeing here. You're also seeing educators, and I'm talking about certified BYOB educators. What does that say? And yes, they're on our platform. So you would have seen that we moved from 2, our mastermind team, and now we're at 12. So I'm talking about educators who have come from all walks of life. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this speaks to the power of duplication. Indeed, it speaks to growth. So once again, it's a wow moment for all of us. We've seen growth. And the Phase 1 continues, accomplishments and more accomplishments. You can see we have our very own book. Yes, Be Your Own Bank Hidden in Plain Sight. And of course, this is written by our mastermind team. And why did they write it? To remove those financial blinders. You can see it's available for you to purchase on Amazon. And once again, there is more accomplishments. We have our very own weekly radio show. That's what you're seeing. Our weekly radio show. This is where we have it. It's in Jacksonville, Florida. And it's a radio station that I've had the privilege to be on as well. So they are actually streaming live globally. And they have a weekly radio broadcast. And I'm talking about Tuesdays at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So the one thing I would like to say, ladies and gentlemen, is that you need to join them live on Tuesdays at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's rejoice904.com. And they will talk you through understanding about bridging the gap. So once again, that's our very own radio station. And of course, we have millennials owning banks. We have our MOB squad. So that's what MOB stands for, millennials owning banks. So again, this is more for us to be educated upon. And that's what the millennials owning banks, that's what they do. They provide ongoing education for us. You can also see that we have our very own international podcast. And ladies and gentlemen, it doesn't stop there. If you go to YouTube, there are videos. Once again, you know, we do 40 calls per month. Yes, you can see that we have our videos on YouTube. Again, you can see playlists underscored right here. So yes, we can show you how to walk in your success, how to achieve that financial freedom. We have the resources that you need. Once again, we have Clubhouse. Now, this is a movement that gives us a conversation 3 days a week, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at noon Eastern Standard Time. So once again, it'd be nice for you all to start plugging in. All of this is showing you that we are a movement that operates in excellence. And we are here, you can see, I know it looks different. Yes, we have someone in a boxing ring. And you're probably wondering, how did we get in a boxing ring, BYOB? But this goes to show that we actually have a brand ambassador that represents the movement. Right here, he represents the movement for us. And on the 22nd of May, yes, we had a round 2 knockout. This is Andrew Tabiti. Yes, once again, he represents championship for the BYOB movement. And let's not forget that there is more resources, more access that you need to know about. We have our BYOB movement worldwide app. So this is where you connect. This is where you can communicate with our BYOB family. And this is like having your very own personal Facebook. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, there's a number of achievements, and I'm just going through them for you to see, because this speaks to the magnitude and the credibility of who we are as a movement. So you can see we have our very own prepaid Mastercard. So you get cash back when you spend over $300 a month. And there's so much benefits just having this card. So once again, this speaks to the magnitude of who we are as a movement. And now we're looking at BYOB Kingdom Currency, new type of money. So you need to be able to reside where you can have access to have this opportunity so you can benefit from our new type of money, our new digital currency. I'm talking about Kingdom Currency. So here we are. We're looking on a token with a purpose. And you can see our core team here. They're here for you to see. This is our core team. And I want it to resonate with you. Kingdom Currency is a token with a purpose. And additional information, of course, for you to know about today is that we have our very own exchange. So yes, that's what you're seeing here. And how do you get it? kingdomcurrency.exchange. So yes, there's another great opportunity of a lifetime. Once again, another opportunity of a lifetime. And let me just quickly point out that you can see here that when you participate in this Kingdom Currency global movement, you have the opportunity to participate in the globe's first socially conscious token. Sounds like a big bit of a mouthful, but what am I saying? While benefiting from the increase in value of the token, you're giving back to your communities. That's what I'm saying. It is a token that's adding back to these communities. So we talk about the 4 pillars. When we talk about Kingdom Currency, this is what we talk about, the 4 pillars. HBCU represents or stands for Historically Black Colleges and Universities. We also see church ministries that will benefit from us when we actually do Kingdom Currency. They stand to benefit as well. Our veterans, they stand to benefit as well. And for those affordable housing who needs to benefit, will benefit as well. Ladies and gentlemen, these communities, you give to your community while earning. So while you yourself, you see your pockets growing, these communities are going to benefit as well. So as we come, we're going to continue to paint the picture, but we're not that far from closing. And so how do you get started? This is the question for the evening. How do you get started? Now, I can say to you, you should be asking the question, how do I get started? Well, like everything else, you're going to get your education. And you're going to have to position yourself for the education. Now, we know that there is going to be good news because you are already in a winning position from the very beginning. Like everything else in life, school, you're going to get an education, and guess what? Your tuition is going to roll around. So like myself, I took that leap of faith. So what are we talking about? An investment in yourself? So for your initial investment, we're talking about $325 US, which equates to around 240 pounds. What am I speaking about monthly in yourself, an investment in yourself? I'm talking about $274.95. Now, before you start to overthink, I want you to remember how we started. Is this where you want to be on the cash flow quadrant? think about what has transpired in the last 12 months of your life. Now, this equates to around $9.16 a day, which is around £6.77 per day. And I know that it's very easy when it comes on to our financial freedom or financial relief. Yes, we sometimes question, why would we invest in ourselves? But what is going to change today if you do not accept the challenge to be your own bank? Now, there is also the opportunity where there is a nice residual program, a nice referral package. Now, this is not a must do, but I would suggest it rather should be a should do, in that you would want to share this opportunity with others once you care and you love about them, because this is taking you to a level or a place in your life where you are going to be economically empowered and you will be financially free. So, ladies and gentlemen, we do offer that opportunity where you see 100% success. We talked about over 40 calls a month. And yes, these calls are recorded, of course, because there are those who live in other countries, and we want you to have access to this information or to the calls that we do. So once again, why would you accept the challenge to be your own bank? Have a look. Have a look to see what traders are making with your money and my money. Have a look. I'm talking about 120,000 to 300,000 a year. Yes, these are household names, and they're paying someone to trade your money. So let me ask you, as I finish painting that picture, let me ask that question once again. Out of all the money that has flowed through your personal bank account, how much has your bank paid you for using your own money? Think about it. They also have branches, they have departments that they have to pay, and yet they can pay one person to trade the money that belongs to you and I and make money from it. Now, I want you to know today, upon your enrollment, you will have access to the BYOB Academy. Yes, you're going to have access to the foreign exchange options trader. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are coming right closer and closer to the end right here. And I want to say, what is going to happen? What is going to happen? Well, you remember we talked about the kingdom currency. Well, of course, whoever invited you to the call, I want you to be able to obviously get back to them, because they will need to give you the link to register for kingdom currency tokens. You can see the stages. We are in the early stages right now. You can see that. We're in the very early stages, initial coin offering stage. You can see month after month, it increases from 400, then to 800, then to 1200. Now, this is your opportunity when you get back to the person who invited you to the call. We want you to have a link, because not only do we give you the education, we also give you an opportunity today to be able to see the solution as well. So education is one, the skill set, and also a solution for financial freedom as well. So once again, when you get enrolled today, I want you to remember that your success doesn't just come overnight. It is one that comes because you're going to be supported with us, the BYOB movement, because we are going to ensure that you're plugged into our Telegram community. You're going to become part of our fantastic BYOB family, and you are going to be a part of our family. So yes, you're going to have access and resources. That is going to catapult your success. It's going to put you and your family on the path to financial freedom. So now let me welcome you to the movement. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we're at the end. Let me welcome you to the movement. Let me welcome you to the path to financial freedom. And let me welcome you to the Be Your Own Bank UK movement extension. With that, ladies and gentlemen, being said, I will officially conclude this call.